What is up, everybody? I'm back for another video. I've been gone recently because of some other stuff, school and just anything. But yeah, so this video, as you can already tell the title, how to remove ball bearings from puzzle. This doesn't work on 3x3, to be honest. I'm not sure why there would be ball bearings in a 3x3. But yeah, so the first thing I'm going to do is, I just took apart a skewb and they have ball bearings. And so what you want to do is you want to locate a screw on the puzzle. It could be small, could be big. It doesn't have to be a skewb, but you want to locate it and you want to unscrew it. But you want to be super careful. You want to hold it like this when you're unscrewing it. Hold it by the cap and the piece itself on the ball bearing like that, leaving only this piece. If you unscrew it, take out the screw. And then when you take out the screw, you're going to want to gently remove the cap from it. So just gently remove it. And you'll be left with something that looks like this. This is what ball bearings look like in the puzzle. There's springs leaving tensions pushing the ball bearings on the side. So if you want to put them back in or put them in a different puzzle, you don't want to lose them. So what you want to do is you want to gently drag your finger across the sides where the ball bearings are pushing out of. And if you gently push just upward, very, very slowly, holding everything in place, the ball bearing will actually just... Give me a second, I'm just going to grab this so nothing... I don't actually lose the ball bearings, so I'm just using these tweezers. This is what the ball bearing looks like. Turn the camera. This is what the ball bearing looks like in my hand. I'm keeping them in a bag. And then after that, you're going to be left with a spring. A spring that... Give me a second, another piece just popped out. Spring that looks a little bit like this. You want to keep the ball bearing and the spring. You basically just want to slowly do that with every single one. You don't want to rush it, because it will fall apart. But yeah, remember how I said the ball bearing would just stick up on the screw? If you would gently slide up, it'll actually just flip up like this. With the ball bearing on top and the screw, you just want to gently remove it. I'm attaching springs over here and ball bearings over inside of a bag. But yeah, and then from there you can literally just put back the puzzle, I believe how you put it, took it apart, which is slide the cap on like this. Just put the cap on regularly. I grab the screw. You don't want to lose this either, so you want to be very careful. Put it inside, and then just screw it back up. And you want to do this with the 4 pieces have ball bearings in the puzzle. For the corners, I would skewb, and then the centers on pyraminx. I can actually explain that to you and do it in both. So it's going to be a long video. Oh, yeah. And so I'm basically just going to do that with the rest of these pieces very quickly. Probably going to speed this up, but probably not, because I might have another tip. Oh yeah, this is actually another thing I wanted to talk about. Whoop. About to lose that ball bearing, thank God. One thing I wanted to mention, first I'm going to take out these 2 and then leave one left of the ball bearings and the screw and spring. This is how to put it back if you want to take it out of one puzzle and put it in the other. You want to put it back, and what you do is, I already showed you how to take it out. So what you want to do, first of all, is you want to take the spring, put it to side, and then take the ball bearing, and you just want to drop it in one of these cubbies. The only way it'll fall out is if you flip it upside down, or if it's at an angle, it'll roll out. Through this little gap right here, it actually won't fit. So even if I would put it inside this little gap, even if I was doing it like this on this little gap, it won't fall because of the plastic. So just put in one of these little things right here. You can slide back and forth. And then from there, you want to tilt it so where it's getting pressure against the side of where it's supposed to be. Grab the spring, put it on the ball bearing like this. Like, put it inside like this. So now you have a spring and a ball bearings. The ball bearings over here, the spring's right here. What you want to do is you want to gently push down on the spring and actually move it in the... You want to put your nail like this above the ball bearing so it blocks it in. And then gently push in the spring and actually kind of roll it until it goes over the ball bearing and into place. It's going to take some practice, but once you get it, it'll become pretty easy. Most puzzles will automatically have a mechanism where it's pretty easy to take out the ball bearings and the springs and just in general. But that's just for some, not all. So, yeah. And then basically I have one more to go. I've already been doing this. One thing I also mentioned is that the cap does not, it doesn't have to be a certain way put on. It can be put on in any way. But for solving the puzzle, that has to be on a certain way. And not these. I mean, like, if you scramble the entire, assemble the puzzle, scramble it up, and then you would take off the cap and you twist it 90 degrees, it would be insolvable. Or if you swap two caps of, like, of the core. Also, Pyramix cores have the same as skewb cores. I didn't really realize that until it was, like, the first couple months of cubing. But, yeah. One more to go. That was funny. I tried to loosen one, and then another one just opened and popped on my shirt. So that's another thing. You would probably want to do it on the floor, not a desk. But I just use this as my filming desk, so I don't really want to film on the floor. I feel like it'd be a really bad background, like how I used to film. One thing that's cool is if you have a super strong magnet, even if it's small, a strong magnet, what you can do is you can gather ball bearings and springs around it. It'll automatically stick. About half the time the ball bearings will stick, but every time the springs will stick. Basically, I've found a time that the springs didn't stick. But yeah, and then so here's the final cap. You want to make sure the screws, when you're tightening them, they're not like a Rubik's Cube tensions. They're actual screws, so if if you loosen these too much, it'll actually affect the way it turns, actually making it slower. So I'd suggest keep screwing it in until it starts to almost stop you, like it's denying. No matter if you try to keep screwing it in, it'll actually just stop it. That's when you would be done, because if you would just tighten it anymore, it'd actually break the plastic, and if you loosen it too much, it'd either fall out or etc. So next thing you want to do is to assemble it. I'm going to show you. What you want to do is you want to do something like this. Grab two pieces that are next to each other. Make sure both sides are matching. And then you want to stick your hand like this, in this kind of position, where you're using this part of your hand to actually grip the first piece, holding it in place, and the second part of your hand with your fingers, like this. Almost like that, that hand game from, I forgot the show, Malcolm in the Middle. But yeah, and then you would basically just slide this piece in. 90% of the skewbs and Pyramixes, the first piece, you literally just slide it in like this. It shouldn't be that hard unless you have super tight tensions, so I suggest loosening it, putting the piece in, and then waiting till the end to tighten it. And then from there, you kind of just want to gently hold this in place, and you actually want to flip it upside down and put it on a table. So that's what I did right now. I actually just put it on a table. And what that does is you're using the table as another part of support. Oh, it actually fell out. Put it back. But you're using the support as like an extra hand on the table, which in this case will actually help you a lot. Most people use a rug. I prefer tables. I can use both, but I prefer a table. Notice when you do it, you can actually lift up the puzzle by the other two center caps. And so the core would automatically move into an awkward position. It's totally fine. That's what's supposed to happen. The core will adapt. But then you want to grab a corner piece like this, and you actually just kind of want to go like this and actually just literally plop it in like that. You want to hold the other piece with like the finger or two, and kind of just let it there on the table. Just slide it in, just like how you do on like a 5x5. Just basically slide it in. And I'm not making an adult joke. I'm serious. And then you would grab center caps, and you'd put them in. Same thing, you want to align the top two. You want to align the top two pieces before you put the center caps in, because then it'd make it unsolvable, like I was saying from before. If you put it in the wrong way, it becomes unsolvable, just like how you would assemble a 3x3. But big cubes, I'd like to mention, big cubes like 4x4, 5x5, and that, it doesn't really matter how the other pieces are put in, because you could just do a parity algorithm. But corners, they always matter on every puzzle. N by N wise, not like a skewb or something, because, you know. Actually, it does actually kind of matter. Never mind. Just ignore what last thing I said. They do matter. The corners. I'm assembling them. So yeah, I'm just getting this piece over here. Oh, one thing that helps is when you're putting in the centers, when you get one center in and you realize it's hard to put another center in, what I suggest is taking apart the other corner that you just slapped on earlier, and then build up this little 3 faces on like the cube, this face, the bottom face, and then the third face of center-wise. And it'll actually become easier. That way you can have like a little section and each piece is holding another one in place. So one, like the blue side is holding a yellow piece in, the yellow side is holding the orange in, and then the orange is holding the blue in. So it all kind of works at the end. But you want to be very careful. Unlike I was, and I kind of just screwed up. Okay, I kind of just messed up, so I'm just going to quickly put everything back the way it was. I'm pretty fast at assembling puzzles, to be honest. It depends on what puzzle in general you're talking about. One thing I would like to mention is that even layers they're really hard to assemble and disassemble. If you're trying to learn new puzzles, I'd suggest learning 3x3, then 2x2, and then actually skip to 5x5, then go to 4x4 if you're focusing on n by n, because 4x4 and 6x6 are harder to assemble than 5x5 and 7x7. Because most 6x6s and 7x7s, this isn't for all, but most have a mechanism where it's literally just a 7x7 wrapped around a 6x6 and a 5x5 wrapped around a 4x4. And so it makes it pretty challenging because there's the pieces inside, because they're so small, kind of like how Nathan Wilson mods puzzles. The pieces are so small, it's really, really hard to assemble. So yeah, you really just want to be careful. It's going to take a long time. But then you want to put the corner in, like I said, between the centers. And then when you get a little section, it should look a little something like this. Let's see if I can actually lift this up without dropping. Like this with a huge corner section. For instance, I got this little corner section done. Then you'd actually put it down on one of the faces, and then you just assemble the other 2 centers on the sides. You would never set if you actually turn the side to the top, assemble that, and then move it back, that's fine. But yeah, so these are going to be more challenging, not to assemble, but to not only assemble them, but to make sure you don't interrupt any other pieces by breaking them or popping them out. So you just want to be careful. If you force it, it probably will break. So you just want to be very careful. Oof, there's one. And then there is 2. Like so. Then you can just put in the other last corner, and then the last 2 parts you can either put in the corner, then assemble the center, or put in the center and assemble the corner. I haven't really found a difference between it. To me, they're both the same difficulty, but yeah. One thing that helps is to loosen the puzzle, to pretty loose. Like these are actually my normal tensions. But I like it because I can assemble pretty easily if I pop. Then again, it can also pop a lot. Oh my god. I am putting this behind the scenes. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Wow. Okay. This just broke on me. But yeah, so I'm super clumsy and not that smart, so I just dropped it, and I ruined all of the progress that I've been working on, so time to restart. Yay! Okay, I'm just gonna quickly assemble this, because I don't have to slow down and talk. This could go like a minute flat, who knows? Hopefully it's fast, because I don't want you guys to be here all day. Well, I do, actually. I don't want you to be here like all day, like, oh, when is he gonna get to it? I mean, like, more videos, more views? That'd actually be pretty nice. Please watch my videos. There's that. Put this corner in. Eyes itching me. But yeah. One thing that helps is for center-wise to assemble one piece of the center at a time. If you try to just squeeze the entire thing in, it will most likely fall apart or won't work, or then again also break if you're not careful. I don't mean like non-cube or, oh no, I broke it. No, I mean like literally break the puzzle, break a piece. Okay, what is up with this piece? My God. One thing that helps is misaligning a layer just a little bit. Gives it more room. And then finally this piece, and then the center. So yeah, that was a mistake. That's one thing I don't like about skewbs. They're hard to hold. I can imagine so many people breaking skewbs, kind of like how they would break square ones. Not because they would, I mean like, because of the design in general, it breaks pretty easily. I don't mean like break, I mean like core stripping and other things. I'm not going to do that again. That took like 3 minutes. Yeah, now time for some pyraminx, I guess. You know what? We'll do pyraminx in the next video. We'll just wait for the next video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.